If you love American history, Boston, Massachusetts is truly the right city to visit, known for its role in the early 1700s American Revolution. But if you're tuning into this video, you want to know what things you don't do when you come to Boston. And in this video, we will talk about all of those things to help you make your trip go smooth and efficient. What's up, YouTube, and welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B, and today we're going to talk about what you don't do when you come right here to Boston, Massachusetts. Follow along and let's get the adventure started. Welcome to Travel Adventures with Eric B. I'm Eric B. If you're new here, I offer travel advice. I'm a solo traveler and I do vlogs to help you travel better and more efficiently. Don't do when you come to Boston, if you're going to just stay in Boston and not take one of the great road trips, don't rent a car. Parking is a nightmare here. It's really expensive. Sometimes it can be hard to find, and it's just not worth it because traffic will drive you crazy. It'll take you forever to get from one side of town to the airport when you can just catch the T there. So if you're going to stay in Boston and that's all you're going to do, don't rent a car. If you're going to take a road trip, rent a car for the time that you're going to go on the road trip. Do not rent a car to drive around Boston or it will drive you crazy. Also, when you come to Boston, don't forget to utilize the T. You definitely want to take the T because you don't want to be driving around like I previously said. The T can get you to some great places and it's more efficient than a lot of the metros and subways, and it's easy to get around that I've been on, and it's relatively clean and nice. It's something that you need to do, so don't not take the T. And the great thing about the T is it will take you to most of your tourist attractions, and the times that it won't take you to the tourist attractions, you can catch Uber there, but just don't get a car and drive around unless you're taking the road trips. But definitely recommend the T. The T is really good for getting around the city, and it'll make your experience a whole lot better. My first two trips here, I didn't enjoy too much because of traffic. With a do and then a don't. Do come right here to Quincy Market. But don't expect Quincy Market to have the best local food. It's just not going to happen. But do come here and check it out. But don't come here expecting that you're going to feast on the best local food. Going along with Quincy Market, don't forget to check out the local street performers outside of Quincy Market. Multiple times a day, these guys and gals do all different types of fun stuff for the crowds, and be prepared to tip them. You don't have to tip them, obviously, but you should if you're going to watch their show, because they will ask you to tip, and if you don't carry cash, they'll have their Venmo account, they'll have their Cash App account, and all this stuff so you can tip them. So if you appreciate the hard work that they're doing to put on a show, don't forget to tip them. Don't for you when you come to Boston is don't forget to come to Boston Harbor and get out on the water. Maybe you want to go see whales. Maybe you just want to ride around and get an architecture tour and enjoy the amazing skyline. But don't forget to get out on the water, and don't forget to get on one of those crazy duck boat tours. Those tours actually go land and water, so you definitely want to get out on one of those tours and enjoy the views from the land and from the water.
All right, you got the loudest crew in Boston. Check, wait. Not quacked out by
Don't do when you come to Boston is you don't forget to take the trolley. The trolley will give you amazing classical views of the city, and you'll get to learn so much from the drivers who are locals here in Boston. So make sure you catch the trolley when you are coming here to Boston. For you is don't forget to check out the New England Aquarium. This is one of the best aquariums in the country. You definitely want to check out the New England Aquarium when you come here. But forgot to mention this earlier, but if you're going to pick multiple attractions, because there's a ton of attractions down here in the Boston Harbor area, I'd suggest you get one of those discount packages. You can get it online, or they have the packages here where you can get multiple attractions for one price, because it'll get very, 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 very pricey if you're going to try to do 4 or 5 different things in all individual tickets. Don't for you is don't go to Boston and expect affordable accommodation. Even hostels aren't cheap. Boston is very expensive for hotels. In a survey conducted in 2023 by cheaphotels.com, Boston was rated as the most expensive city in the U.S. for hotels averaging $303 for a double room hotel. And oftentimes you can find a private room of an Airbnb or an apartment rental for a cheap price, and then you'll end up paying an additional $100 to $200 a day for fees, making that as expensive as a hotel. So not a lot of cheap stays. And I mentioned the hostel thing because if you stay at a hostel here, it's going to be more than the traditional hostels in the US. You're talking around $80 to $100 a day for that. And that's why I've stayed in New Hampshire and Providence, Rhode Island in my first trips here, and just taking road trips around, so it can be pricey. For Boston is, don't forget to get something from the many food trucks and the much street food here in Boston. So much street food down here, so many street trucks. You gotta check them out, try out some different things, different drinks, different food items, lots of variety. Boston, don't skip out on all the local breweries and tap rooms. There are a lot of local breweries, a lot of places you can hang out, enjoy a drink and some food, and relax. And I suggest you definitely go check them out here in Boston. The city has over 130 beer brewers, including Boston Beer Company, which is the 4th largest brewer in the entire country. You don't do when you come to Boston is don't skip out on the Freedom Trail, or the 16 parts of the Freedom Trail. And I'm right here, well, right behind me is Faneuil Hall, which is a very, very important piece of American history. So make sure you follow that Freedom Trail. Make sure you have a lot of water when you do it, especially during the summer, because it's a 2.5-mile walk. But make sure you go check that out. You can sign up to do a free walking tour of the Freedom Trail. As I mentioned, 2.5 miles long, or you can do it on your own. As you can see the bricks right here, you can just follow this all the way down. But the walking tour will help you because you'll be able to learn some of the history from an expert. And at the end, you can tip them or not, but you should definitely tip them. Europe and that Boston has a lot of outside eating spaces. So if you want to sit outside, eat, have a drink, there are tons of these spaces in Boston. So that's something that you need to not skip out on as well. Definitely enjoy all the outdoor eating. Don't skip out. Don't, when visiting Boston, you may not be smart enough to go to Harvard. I know I'm not smart enough to go to Harvard, but you definitely need to visit Harvard Square and visit this beautiful campus over here. And you can get right off on the red line, right at the Harvard exit, and come visit this beautiful campus. Some of the buildings you can get into, some of them you can't, but don't skip out on visiting this campus where all the smart people go. Don't for you when you come here to Boston is don't forget to go to a sporting event. Go to a Red Sox game. I've gone to them, support my Tampa Bay Rays against the Red Sox. Go to a basketball game, go see the Celtics who are playing in the NBA Finals. May already have it won by the time this video comes out, or drive about 45 minutes away to Foxborough and see the Patriots. But yeah, that I do mention that 45 minutes away because Patriots play actually closer to Providence than Boston, so keep that in mind. You come here, you're gonna have to rent a car to go to their game. They're not in the city. But don't forget to go to a sporting event. Also, don't want to leave off the Boston Bruins if you enjoy hockey. They play in the same arena as the Celtics as well. Another don't for you when you come here to Boston is don't come here and make fun of the Boston accent. People don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, I never thought I had an accent, but every year I come to Europe and I start talking to people, someone always mentions my accent, and I'm like, I didn't know I had one. But everyone has an accent depending on where you are and where you're from. So don't go around talking about the car and the bar and all of that kind of stuff and making fun of the Boston accent, because you'll piss people off by doing that, just like you'll piss most anyone off when you make fun of the local accent. People don't really want to hear that, so don't go around making fun of the Boston accent and talking like you're from New England when you're not. Don't of Boston is don't come here during the winter. Right now, I'm here in June. It is beautiful, and this is the way you want it to be here. You don't want to come here during the winter when there's snow everywhere and it's hard to get around, because it can get pretty miserably cold here in Boston and the entire New England area during the winter. So I highly recommend you come here during the summer so you can get these beautiful views like I have right here in Boston Common, and you can enjoy your day. Might be a little rain here and there, but you got days like this that are so beautiful. You don't get days like this during the winter here, so make sure you definitely don't come here during the winter. Also, folks, as a bonus, because I mentioned earlier the road trips when I talked about taking the T. Okay, so don't just feel like you have to just stay in Boston. You can take road trips. You can go to Providence, Rhode Island. You can go up, especially in the fall, to New Hampshire or Vermont, because those are beautiful places during the fall. Or you can go all the way to Maine. Portland, Maine is extremely beautiful. But you can definitely take a road trip and get out of Boston and enjoy the entire Northeast. You can go to Connecticut. You can go to all kind of places. The ones I recommend is go to New Hampshire and Vermont, or take the road trip to Maine and go to Portland, Maine. But you can definitely take a lot of good road trips out of Boston. And also, Massachusetts also has a lot of beautiful areas. If you want to go to Salem, where the Salem witch trial was, if you want to go up to Kennebunkport, Maine, which is a good little distance up, but it's definitely somewhere you can take a road trip to. There's a lot of beautiful areas, a lot of private residence and beaches and things like that as well. So there's a lot to see and do on a road trip from Boston. And that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you please hit the like, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification so you can know when I have more videos coming out. And as always, remember, live today, grow today, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Peace and travel. Lots and lots of travel. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like, share, subscribe buttons. Leave any comments below. I love to interact. And if you would like to help the channel continue to grow, please consider hitting the join button and becoming a member of the Peace Corps and help us to continue to grow as a travel community.